This video is going to show you how to budget like a pro every single time. First, we're going to distinguish between good and bad budgeting habits. Then we'll explore a free budget template that I've linked down below and how we can use that template to give yourself a leg up on your finances. Finally, we'll wrap it all up so you can figure out how to earn more, spend less, and be financially wealthier and happier. If you find value in this video, give it a like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Drop a comment on what else you want to learn about. YouTube likes that too. And if you truly love what I shared, please subscribe. First, let's identify which budgeting tips are good and which ones are bad. But before we even delve into that, let's analyze what our financial goals are in the first place. The most important part about budgeting isn't actually the process itself, but the reasons behind it. If you're a student, you might be trying to minimize your expenses. If you're a young professional, you might be saving for a down payment for your first home. Without clear goals and why you are budgeting in the first place, you're simply setting yourself up for failure. It's like sprinting at full speed without knowing your destination. You'll probably end up someplace you don't want to be. So, take a moment to think about where you see yourself financially in a month, in a year, in 5 years, in 20 years. Set yourself up for success by having a clear financial goal before we even start this budgeting process. Now, I want you to forget everything you know about budgeting. Let's focus on some seriously bad habits you should ditch right away. As I said earlier, the first one you should ditch is not setting clear financial goals. I can't emphasize this enough. If you don't know which way you're running, you'll soon run off a cliff. Second, ignoring small expenses. Spending as little as $5 a day totals up to over $1,800 throughout a year. This also includes those subscriptions you might never use. Those truly accumulate. The third thing is impulse buying. Just because it's Black Friday or Boxing Week doesn't mean you need to drop $400 on something you probably will never use. On Amazon, it's always so easy to press add to cart, but resist the urge. Be mindful of your purchases. Fourth is living beyond your means. If you're a broke university student, you don't need to be going out every weekend to go clubbing or getting seshed. If you're a young professional, maybe hold off on buying that fancy car with your new bonus. And lastly, don't be too rigid with your budgeting. I know this sounds weird considering this video is literally about budgeting, but an overly strict budget is just simply unsustainable. You'll burn out and fall off the wagon. That's not what we want. So, what are some good habits that you should actually employ when you are budgeting? First is set realistic goals. You probably can't survive on $10 a week for groceries, so budget what makes sense for you and your lifestyle. Second, track your expenses. In your first month of budgeting, you'll be amazed by how many things add up, what things you're actually spending on that you never really noticed totaled up to so much. So write them down and track them. Third, regularly review your budget. The budget template that I'll show you in just a minute allows you to track your expenses monthly, even on a daily basis. Fourth, plan for large purchases. Want the latest iPhone? Save a little every month so that when you make it, you're not breaking the bank. Lastly, the best budgeting habit is to use a budgeting tool. Budgeting without a tool is like flying without a plane. It's simply extremely hard and will set you up for failure. So have a budget tool, which conveniently I'm about to just show you and give you one for free. So speaking of this budgeting tool, I created one myself a few years ago for my own purposes to save money, and I'm so excited to share it with you today. You'll find a template in the link below, so go open it, copy it into your own Google Drive, and let me show you how to use it. So I have my laptop in front of me, so we're just gonna go through it together. Alrighty, once you open it, it's a really easy to use template that I've relied on personally for all of my own budgeting. Let me just walk you through it. After I make a purchase, whether it's in person or online, I just simply input the expense into my spreadsheet. So all you have to do is put in the date, a category, and then a description of what you purchased and how much you spent on it. And just like that, it automatically tallies how much I spent over the month in each category. It's so awesome. So I'm just gonna add in a few more items to sort of showcase the incredible power of it and how simple it is and the fact that it's completely free. Yeah, So I remember being shocked at my spending in certain categories during the first month when I used my budgeting tool. And it's just so easy to swipe a credit card and not realize how much you're actually spending or where your money's going until you see it all laid out in front of you. So next time you make a purchase, just put it into my budgeting tool. That's how I use it whenever I make a purchase, whether it's on credit or if I'm using cash. I just open up the Google Drive and spreadsheet and just simply put it in right then and there. I know some of my friends who use it as well, put it in at the end of the day and they just keep a tally of it. So do what's best for you and what makes the most sense in your own day-to-day life, because at the end of the day, it's your budget and we want to make you feel amazing with it and save money. And then at the end of the month, you could just review all the totals from all the categories of spending and spot anything that's unusual or see where you could do better or just see where, sometimes you kind of fall off the wagon once or twice a month and spend a little too much, and just remind yourself of that so you don't make the same mistake down the line. But it warns you when you're nearing your limit, which is as good as it can get. I've also added the ability to set a budget for each of your categories. For example, if you aim to spend $200 a month dining out, this template helps keep you on track. And so when you are approaching the limit of your budget, you can see how much is remaining in your budget for each category. Yes, it's not foolproof and unexpected costs do occur that forces your budget to go awry from month to month, but it warns you when you're nearing your limit. So it's as good as it can get. The last category I put in place in this spreadsheet is for income sources, and they have their own category as well. And so whether you earn money from a job or passive income, investments, scholarships, or loans, you can record it all here and have a clear summary of what's going in and what's going out. I designed this budget spreadsheet to be straightforward so you don't get overwhelmed. We don't want budgeting to be so burdensome that you give up after a month and just simply forget about it, because that's not productive at all. And so something that I realized from my own budgeting is that burnout is real, and I found that the best way to avoid it was to make the process as simple as possible. And with this spreadsheet, it is just so straightforward, so easy. You could track every single one of your expenses without doing insane amounts of work for yourself. As well, I know I added these categories for my own purposes, but if there are any categories you would like me to add in the future, please let me know in the comments down below. Alrighty, that's the spreadsheet. And now let's tie everything we've learned in this video all together so you're ready to go. First, have a financial goal in mind before you even start budgeting at all. Second, eliminate all bad habits before we even begin this process. To recap, they are: 1, not setting a financial goal; 2, ignoring small expenses; 3, making impulse purchases; 4, living beyond your means; and 5, being too strict with your budget. Third, adopt some positive budgeting habits. 1, set realistic goals for yourself. 2, track all of your expenses. 3, review your budget regularly. 4, plan large purchases. And 5, use a budgeting tool. Finally, we've looked at the free budgeting template that I've used personally. You can simply just copy it into your own Google Drive with the link in the description. And now you're ready to go. Follow these steps and you'll budget like a pro every single time. Can't wait to see how much you save. If you learned something, give this video a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye. Budget like a pro. Budget like a pro. Budget like a pro. Budget like a pro.